Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to spoil you with 2 games tonight, or torture you if you hate hearing me talk. But either way, you're here now, and, well, I'm talking once again. Today I bring you a pretty well-known Protoss, EG Incontrol. Now, EG Incontrol plays in many high-level tournaments, including the TSL, and he also does lessons. I don't know if you guys know that, but a lot of high-level players do lessons. But EG Incontrol is actually a StarCraft 2 coach, so he coaches a lot of teams, his own team, and he does paid lessons. So you can actually pay him to give you lessons. I don't have any links for that, unfortunately. And his opponent will be ClSusk and ClSusk. I don't know how he wants me to say that, but ClSusk is a rank 3 Master League, and he's got about a 60% win ratio, so not in that Grand Master League. But I say this over and over again, guys, ladder rank isn't everything, considering a lot of the high level players do not ever ladder. They just spar against their teammates in custom games. So but that being said, rank 3 Master League is nothing to cough at. Only 200 players get into the Grand Master League, so, you know, let's give him what we can give him, and for that I say I'm going to give him one of my casts, and hopefully this is a good game. EG Incontrol is a very solid Protoss player, and he's picked up a lot of fans in the last little while asking if he's streaming, but no, this is not being streamed, just cast by me. I think ClSusk is probably he's probably just, you know, your average Joe. I don't know if he's a pro player. He probably just ran into Incontrol on the ladder, so probably honorable for him. But you know, hey, if I'm wrong, guys, you call me on it. If you guys know who ClSusk is, you give me, you know, you throw something at me. CLSU, I don't know how. Yeah, I really don't know how to say that. But so we are seeing a pool. It's finishing around 17 supply, 16 supply. It finishes at. So that was probably a 13, 14 pool, and there's a pylon here to block that fast expo. But a lot of players don't like trying to fast expand against Protoss. It is dangerous. You can, if you fast expand, you make yourself vulnerable to kind of one base pushes, timing pushes with weapons 1 and things like that. You also are vulnerable to cannon rushes if you do not scout them properly, and oftentimes, you know, a well-placed cannon rush is hard to scout. It looks like he might try something here. No, he's just a cyber core. What? That is bizarre. I've never seen anyone do that before. That's funny. But it continues to build despite the fact that the pylon is gone. I didn't know it did that. And look how fast the health goes up. So this is very similar to a Terran Engineering Bay play. It blocks the expansion for forever, and when that happens, he can just cancel it once it's close to death. So this is a great play. I've never seen that before. Maybe you guys have. I don't really watch Incontrol regularly. I tend to stick to my favorites. Of course, that changes now that I cast. But very interesting. So what are we going to see from him? He's got his own cyber core right here, and we're going to see a 3-gate. So that could be an expand, or that could be that timing push that I talk about. The fact that this expo is late really puts the game in ClSusk. I'm going to call him Susk. So that really, or maybe CL. So that puts the game in CL's hand, and it really depends on how he reacts. He really should be getting some units now. Yeah, because if a 1 base push comes at him and he just spends this time trying to saturate a really late base, he's gonna be behind. I mean, he's already, I don't know how to take this. This could go either way right now. We are seeing an evolution chamber coming down, so he will be able to deny anything like DTs if he does smart things with, you know, spore crawler placement. And DTs are a possibility. I don't see anything like that now. We do have Warp Tech finishing soon, very close to being finished, and no real sign of what's to come. A lot of sentries though, so that looks like a fast expand. This is a pretty dangerous map to fast expand on, and even though he denied his opponent's expansion, I don't know if I agree with this. I really don't know if I agree with this, seeing as how he had the lead. He denied his opponent's expansion, and his opponent continued to drone to take that expansion anyway. So he had a very lacking military. I guess that's all I could say about that. And now his opponent's base is still up before his, and he will not be able to benefit this before his opponent does. So I don't know. I don't know if I agree with Incontrol's play here. But he's getting a forge. He's going to be able to get weapons grades. He's also going to be able to get cannons to defend. But he cannot be going too static here. He needs to make something happen, and he needs to do it soon. There are not a lot of units here for CL. He's dropping some spine crawlers. I think he knows that this army is coming, but is it going to push? I doubt it. No, he's going to pull back. He just wants to check the tower. So that's a good play there. Zerg like to control the map. And good overlords, moving them down here. One's probably going to split off soon, but you can keep an eye on remote expansions that way. That way the Protoss can't sneak anything. And good placement here if you ever need to open up a Nidus worm. This overlord's already there. You don't have to worry about the travel time. And it scouts things like Phoenix or Void Rays. And if you're playing against Terran, Banshees for sure. And yeah, so the Zlings are going to take the towers now. And it would be a good idea for EG Incontrol to scout for that, and he is going to. That Ling could be pulled back. It's not like he doesn't see this coming. He's going to lose the Ling and the tower. So good play by EG Control, keeping those towers clear. Now, what are these Lings going to do? Are they going to try to run around? They might try that, scouting the tower, but no. The Lings are just going to stay out of the range of the tower. There is going to be a push from EG Control, and there isn't much here. Weapons 1 is halfway done, and EG Incontrol, this Stalker is going to go down because it is surrounded by these Lings. It cannot get away, but he does manage to dupe it around to his army. Good save by EG Incontrol, very nice control, and almost with that Weapons 1 completed. We are seeing roach upgrades coming out as well as ranged upgrades. He was creating 10 roaches that popped, and now 8 more, 7 more. Oh my goodness. This is when the Zerg macro explodes. We're seeing 5 more roaches, burrow, tunneling claws, weapons 2. Weapons 2. Holy cow, they've already got weapons 1. EG Incontrol is going to have to out-micro his opponent if he's going to win, as roaches do 18 damage at weapons 1, and once weapons 2 is completed, they will do in the 20s. I think 20, I can't remember how much damage, as the Stalkers only do 15 at weapons 1, and their attack rate is much lower. However, they do have a range advantage on their roaches, and force fields are definitely going to help him cut those army count in half. So it's, once again, I say this a lot, it's going to be down to the micro, because, you know, unit on unit, the game's pretty balanced right now, in my opinion. So yeah, no, some things are easier to micro than others, but in terms of strength and opportunity, the game is just about figuring out what the answer is, and some answers are harder to come by than others, but there's always a way. And really right now EG Incontrol I think is in good shape. He's getting armor 1, and yeah, I don't know. I think he should have gone for weapons 2 because he has the force fields to keep his opponent at bay, so he won't be taking hits if he uses his force field right, and with weapons he could sit back and shell his opponent. So I don't know, he's getting that robo bay, robo facility, yeah, that's the word, getting that observer, and he'll need it because his opponent does have burrow. His opponent is taking their 3rd, and EG Incontrol should look at taking his 3rd as well. Getting tons of Phoenix, and I don't think his opponent has any idea that those exist. He was doing some weird scouting with that Overlord, but no, he has no idea that there's any type of air unit on the way. And so very clever hidden play. Late game Phoenix, you don't see that very often, but I like it. And he is trying to take his 3rd behind the rocks. His army needs to come and engage that. I don't know if he knows that those rocks are going down. He does now notice, and Phoenix are going to come over here, and he spots the roaches. I don't think he expected to see something like that. He's just going to let this go. He needs to cancel those. He does cancel it very wisely. Now he has revealed his Phoenix to his opponent, which I don't know if that's a good thing at all. He had the surprise for a while, and look how long it takes him to kill those roaches. Yeah, he needs to move with those Phoenix now because the element of surprise is gone. His opponent did get a Spire, which now is completely nullified by the Phoenix. Spores are coming down, so good reaction by CL. And he's going to be sniping a lot of Overlords, trying not to lose too many Phoenix in the process. Are there any up here? No, there's none up here, and the Spores are already done, so they won't be able to do much damage up here. Staying out of range of the Spores, very nicely microed by EG Incontrol, and he is still producing Immortal and Colossus, so that means he has 2 Robo Facilities. So this is keeping the Zerg in their base, keeping them off balance, and he is able to destroy some of the army as well as macro up a force. So great play. Also, he is seeing these drone transfers and notices that he has a 3rd, which he hadn't previously scouted. Now he's losing. Yeah, he needs to pay attention to these. So the Spores are done. He can't really harass the mineral line without losing Phoenix, and it would not be worth it. He's scouting for a 4th. There is no 4th, so he feels safe there. And now going back to just take map control. What would be good is to push down the map and get rid of some of these creep tumors and then just pull back. It's always a valuable play. And the Phoenix harass did allow him to take his 3rd. However, he should have taken that sooner. This army is not massive, but I think it will be enough to destroy this Roach army if it's controlled properly. A couple spine crawlers at the 2nd. I think the best thing to do would be to take this 3rd from his opponent, because the Zerg drones hard, and it's really easy to mine a Zerg out if you can deny their expansions, and going for their 2nd often leads to getting surrounded. So you got to stay on the edges, on the borders, and make sure you can't get surrounded, but it's really hard to avoid that as Protoss with a slow army. But definitely with these Phoenix, he can watch for it. He can keep map control, he can keep scouting, and watch that he doesn't put himself in a bad position. Lots of cannons here, so once he pushes out, he will be able to avoid being run by. And lots of Colossus now. There is in fact a Spire for CL, so there will be a lot of Corruptors. We are seeing an Ultralisk Cavern getting the armor for Ultralisks, and as well as an Infestor Pit down. Are we seeing Infestors? We don't have any Infestors on the way. There is armor 2 and melee weapons 1 coming for those Ultralisks. I don't know if Ultralisks was the best choice for him. However, actually come to think of it, EG Incontrol is very, very sentry heavy, and the only way he's going to beat the Zerg's numbers is with Force Field. But with Ultralisks in front, he can't use Force Fields because the Ultralisks will break those Force Fields. So very good thinking on CL's part. And Ultralisks are so badass. So badass. And the Roaches are sitting here looking at their giant allies saying a girl can dream, because they wish they could do what Ultralisks can do. But on the flip side, there are a lot of cannons here. If an Ultralisk were to try to push this, they would take so much damage. I'm not even sure it would be cost effective. EG Incontrol breaking down these rocks, thinking about a 4th, and the Zerg macro is really starting to get out of control, I suppose. And CL now on his 5th base to EG's 3. So he really needs to make something happen. He needs to deny these bases. Creep is almost at his base. I don't know why he isn't pushing it back and letting those Colossus get away from his army. And now that he's shooting at the creep, his opponent knows that there are in fact Colossus, and we might see a lot of Corruptors on the way, or he'll just spam Ultralisks. Just getting a message. I'll respond to that later, but I need to get in the habit of setting myself to away. Man, so many things to think about. But at least I'm getting the production tab open for you guys now. Storm on the way for EG and Blink as well. And CL, he's got all his units here. There's a lot of Ultralisks. He's fast when he's on creep, but there are so many Colossus here. Those Ultralisks are going to take so much damage. And the Roaches here are going to go around. No, they're not going to. Phoenix can reign free on that Roach army, getting a couple Roaches Oh, what's he gonna do here? Is he gonna try to push this? He's going to try to push this. Force fields are gonna do nothing. He's using Guardian Shield, but I don't understand why. I guess to defend from the roaches, but I don't even know if he needs it. Look at those units melt. He engaged with melee units in a concave, and you do not want to do that when you're facing ranged units. Never, ever, ever, ever fight in a choke. I said concave, but I meant choke. Never engage in a choke, because instantly numbers mean nothing, and when you're melee, you're getting foddered at. Like, you know, your units are just gonna melt to ranged units. So that was the mistake there by the Zerg. Had he gotten the surround, I feel he would have destroyed this Protoss army. Ultralisks do not go down easy, especially to Colossus. So the only chance the Colossus would have had were getting up onto some sort of high ground. But here come some Lings, a little bit of a run by. Are there cannons here? Yes, there are cannons here. But there are no oh, there is cannons here in the main. But these Lings I don't think will be able to do anything. They will be able to kill the cannons, but that's about it. Are we going to see these Phoenix try to lift them up? I don't think they're going to bother. They're getting the surround on an Immortal. Are these Lings going to kill an Immortal? They do get an Immortal. A lot of Lings were lost for that, but minerals are nothing this late in the game. However, CL does seem to be on top of his macros, spending every penny he earns. However, these extra bases here are not getting saturated, and it's not easy to do because when you get this late in the game, you've got so much military. If you're maxed out, like 40% of your population is harvesters, if not more. Sometimes 100 supply. I've seen players with like 80 harvesters, 90 harvesters with a 200 army, and they just dump their harvesters into their opponent to free up supply. And really, I think CL just needs to throw his supply into his other bases and just find a way to throw his units into the Protoss army and remax quickly, and that's what we might see. Archons in this mix, Storm going down. Look at the Ultralisks tear through this Protoss ball. It's not even remotely being microed. What is EG Incontrol doing? He should be throwing his Colossus onto this high ground, and he would have been fine. Oh, and the Ultralisks pretty much unscathed here. They're all damaged, but they will regenerate health slowly. And yeah, see, we do see some health regeneration. Oh, that's so slow. But it's going to push into this Protoss fourth and be greeted by loads of cannons. I think they will be able to break it, though. Even if they can't, at this point, CL will be able to remax so easily. But the cannons do not stand a chance against all those Banelings. A couple of the Banelings picked up by Phoenix. Let's see. I was told. Oh, wow. Those Zealots are doing quite well against the Ultralisks. And by the way, DTs do bonus damage to Massive, I believe. Do they? Oh, I clicked on a Phoenix. No, they don't. They do a shitload of damage, though. With Weapons 3, they're doing 60 damage a swing. 60 damage. That is amazing. Zealots are doing 33 damage because they swing twice. And look at all the roaches coming here to deny EG Incontrol's production. And that's what he needs to do, because he can continue to just mass produce, and if he can slow down EG's production, he can remax faster than Incontrol. He's already remaxed, and EG Incontrol is at 144 supply. So already there's a huge issue here where EG Incontrol will just be struggling to stay in the game. He is taking the base down here, and hopefully he can saturate that and retake this base here. We are seeing Broodlords now coming out for Incontrol, and a mothership for EG Incontrol. Did I say, yeah, I said Broodlords coming out for Incontrol, but I meant CL. Coming out for the Zerg player, and the Protoss player is now building the mothership, morphing all those DTs into Archons, because he knows his opponent will get wise and make some form of detection in this. Oh, those are Broodlords. Is he making Overseers, or is he being stubborn? Stubborn/stupid. Where is his Overseers? He's not building any, according to the production tab. So maintaining DTs would have worked in the mid ground very well. However, he couldn't push with them because there are lots of spore crawlers. So I don't even think CL was microing this attack. I think he just A-attacked that, which is very easy to do when you outbase the Protoss, and that's why he's not reacting to the DTs. But more Ultralisks coming, getting weapons 3 for them, and it's going to be a valuable investment. But a nice tech switch into Hydralisks, which I don't think EG was expecting. He's trying to deal with these Phoenix and deal with these Void Rays that Incontrol has now switched to. He's getting out of Colossus. However, if he had stuck to Colossus, the Colossus would have melted those Hydra. So both players did a tech switch, but CL's was much more intuitive. Incontrol knew that he couldn't deal with the Ultralisks with Colossus, and CL knew that he knew that. So he switched knowing that EG would switch, and isn't that a mindfuck? So Archon's getting in front, tearing apart the Hydralisks, and I'm not sure why he continues to invest in melee weapons 3 when I don't know, he's not even using anything that uses melee, except for the Broodlords. Actually, Broodlings use melee weapons, so when Broodlords attack, the Broodlings get the upgrade from that. They don't even use air weapons. So, interesting. And Phoenix are going to clean up those Broodlords very quickly. I think CL needs to switch back into Ultralisks. And look at this, 168 supply. He's almost remaxed again, starting to saturate these remote bases, taking these two as well, so double expanding and really starting to consume the map. Can EG Incontrol maintain this game? I don't know if he can. Can I maintain my pace of talking? I don't think I can. And okay, I was gonna say lots of DTs here, but those are just cloaked stalkers from this mothership. And once that mothership can get a lot of energy, I think that EG Control can actually do some type of run by. Once the mothership is a fantastic positional tool. You don't even have to use it to cloak your army. You can use it to attack bases strategically and then warp your army back to your base when your opponent tries to counter run by, or even get out when your opponent tries to defend his own base. And you can do a lot of damage without losing any units. So back to Ultralisks, opening up a black hole and getting a few of the stragglers. So excellent play there, but I don't know how I don't know how much damage that'll do. He only got 2 Ultralisks from that. And now he's going to have to take the army in full force. And the army is immune for half. And here comes another chunk of the Zerg army coming over to swallow EG Control's 4th. And this army trying to deal with the Ultralisks. It does so quite successfully, but he's out of position to defend this base. And 1 DT here by himself trying to save the day. But EG cannot defend both bases, because another wave of Zerg come for his 3rd while he's over here defending his 5th. Phoenix do come in quickly, and this Nexus very well may go down. Is it going to go down? Can the army kill the Zerg in time? It does, in fact, clean up that Zerg attack, and he maintains his 5th base. Now EG Incontrol has to come down here. He has to destroy this base, and will he see it? I don't know if he will. The mothership, armed with 3 powerful flashlights, is the flagship of the Protoss fleet and will defend the army as such. But I think EG Control is going to lose if he does not come in here and deal with this. And there he goes, 1 DT to clean up that hatchery. But what this does do, even if he doesn't use this as a mining base, he is spreading creep here, and EG Control cannot expand here until the creep is gone. And yeah, I don't know what EG Control can do, but if CL does not make himself more cost effective in his attacks, when you focus down a Nexus and lose your entire army doing it and don't kill the Nexus, that's a huge loss if you ask me. And really, he's not, this is good. So a couple Hydralisks are coming in here to take down some pylons, and now it looks like EG Control is going for the throat. His Phoenix have been alive all game. 4 kills, 6 kills, 4 kills, 2 kills. That was a Colossus. A lot of kills on those Phoenix. And there's no Zerg army here to deal with this, but here it comes. So many Corruptors for the Zerg player. Can EG... look at the mothership go down! Lightning speed. Now the Stalkers are going to rip apart the Corruptors that did not get into the Vortex. CL is just playing this like a Zerg, attacking his units, microing only the Broodlords, and not even microing those anymore. Oh, Storm going down. Those units are immune to it as they just came out of the Vortex, and most of those Storms missed. He's microing the Corruptors. and he is focusing down these Colossus. So that is what the Zerg needed to do. He needed to trade armies with the Protoss, because now the Zerg will be able to remacro way faster than the Protoss ever will be able to. And now the Zerg is in good shape. So many cannons here, but the base is mined out, and EG Incontrol is sitting on a bit of a bank, but he does not have the production to remax his army. It is now almost maxed for the Zerg again, but sitting at 118 supply for the Protoss. And this is the nature of the late game ZVP. That is the ideal. This is how you need to play it. You need to trade armies with the Protoss and remax. So A attacking is very effective. It's not a bad thing as Zerg. As long as you do it strategically, you need to know where to A attack and when you can A attack, and make your push cost effective. Catch the Protoss in the mid ground and swallow him. So EG Incontrol needs to find a way to hold this off. He needs to get under those Broodlords. He needs to back his Stalkers up, because he cannot deal with this army unless he can kill the Broodlords, and the Broodlords are the target he needs to be killing right now. There he goes. He's ballsily moving under the Broodlords, trying to snipe them. He snipes one, but these Stalkers are getting eaten alive by the Roaches. Now the Broodlords are out of position. They're naked. Roach is way up front, but a couple more do resupply the army. And now EG Incontrol has to abandon this base. Slowly but surely, the Zerg is pushing forward. And this is EG's last mining base. Yes, it is. And I think this is GG. The Zerg player at 174 supply, 170 now. And EG at 108, slowly losing everything. Cannons going down easily like paper towers, and really there's nothing that can save him here. No Phoenix can get past this many Corruptors, and there are so many Broodlords that no ground force will be able to come and deal with this. There is a bit of a Stalker army here for EG. His own next is blocked by his own Harvesters, and the Zerg player is not actually producing anything. I think he's got no mineral income. He does have a little bit there. So he is making more Harvesters for some reason. I don't even really think that's necessary. The Protoss player, EG, is trying to break down these rocks so he can come and engage this expansion. However, there are a lot of Roaches here, and CL does realize it. He's going to attack, and EG cannot afford to take any losses. He needs to blink these back to avoid them from dying, and he's just now starting to do that to minimize his casualties. But he's still somewhere else. He's going back and forth between bases, and the Zerg army continues to rip through EG's base, and he is now at 77 supply, slowly falling even further into no coming back. And here come the Corruptors scouting up ahead, realizing there's nothing up there waiting to oppose him, and EG needs to GG, because this is more than over. But it looks like he's going to patiently try to resist, and CL is just going to happily abide him by destroying everything he owns. He is stepping on his toys, and the DT is going to come in here and try to save the day, but it's not going to work out for him. There's just too much shit to stab. Wow, that is a gangster's dream. Too much shit to stab. But can EG do anything? You know, I would be shocked if he could, but I don't see what he can do. This DT is going to continue to rip shit apart, and no Overseers being made from CL. I don't know why. CL is effectively mined out all over the place, except he does have this expansion. With his Spore Crawler, he's got 2 Overseers here for detection. Building another base here, and there he goes. EG now GG's, admitting defeat as the Broodlords come to invade his last mining base. And yeah, I'm glad he GG'd out. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this game. 40 minutes, wow, a whopper. Yeah, I'm SSN Incarnum. This is game 2 tonight, baby. And you're watching StarCraft Inc. Subscribe, hit that like button. See you guys.